Today we're talking about Jujutsu Kaisen once again, and it's gonna be tough. Now I know what you're thinking. Dude, JJK is fire. But hold up, cause we're about to spill some tea on its rocky start. So picture this. Gege Akutami drops this manga, thinking it's gonna blow up, right? Wrong. At first, JJK was like that awkward kid at the party that nobody notices. It was struggling hard to get readers and things were looking pretty grim. I mean, imagine creating something you think is awesome, and everyone's just like, meh. That was JJK's life in the beginning, and let me tell you, it wasn't pretty. Alright, so remember how I said things weren't looking good for JJK? Well, it gets worse. The manga was literally on life support, about to flatline in the world of Shonen Jump. It was so bad that Akutami was like, screw it, I'm gonna kill off the main character. Can you believe that? Our boy Yuji Itadori was about to get the axe, permanently. That's how desperate things were. Akutami was ready to wrap this whole thing up in a few chapters and call it quits. It's like if your favorite show got cancelled after one season, but instead of a cliffhanger, they just killed everyone off. That's the kind of crisis JJK was facing. It's insane to think about now, right? But hold up, because here comes the plot twist. Enter the Kyoto Goodwill Event Arc, swooping in like a superhero to save the day. This arc was like JJK's secret weapon, the trump card that turned everything around. Suddenly people were like, yo, this is actually pretty sick. The fights were epic, the stakes were high, and readers were finally starting to vibe with it. It's like JJK went from being the weird kid to the cool kid overnight. This arc was the game changer, the moment when JJK said, nah, we're not going down without a fight. And boy, did it fight. The engagement shot up, people were talking about it, and just like that, JJK dodged the cancellation bullet. Talk about a comeback story. Okay, so JJK's got some hype now, but let's keep it real for a sec. You ever feel like you're watching the same anime over and over? That's because a lot of these shows use the same old tricks, and JJK's not innocent here. Take our main man, Yuji Itadori. He's got this whole vessel for a super powerful being thing going on. Sound familiar? Yeah, that's because we've seen it a million times before. Naruto and Kurama, Ichigo and his hollow, it's like the go-to move for shonen protagonists. It's not bad, but it's kinda like using cheat codes in a game. It gets the job done, but where's the originality? JJK could have mixed it up a bit, you know, given us something fresh. Instead, it's like they copied someone else's homework and changed it just enough to not get caught. Now, let's talk about everyone's favorite blindfolded badass, Satoru Gojo. This dude's so cool he probably sweats liquid nitrogen. But here's the thing, Gojo's like that one-hit wonder band. He's got style, he's got swagger, but dig a little deeper and there's not much there. Sure, he's crazy powerful and looks good doing it, but where's the character growth? Where's the deep, compelling backstory? Gojo's stuck being the same guy from start to finish. It's like he's there just to make us go wow and buy merch. Don't get me wrong, I love a good power fantasy as much as the next guy, but come on. Even Gege admits this guy's a pain to write. Gojo's cool and all, but he's about as deep as a kiddie pool. Alright, let's shift gears and talk about the big bad of JJK, Sukuna. This dude's supposed to be the ultimate villain, right? The final boss, the endgame threat. But here's the problem. Why is he doing any of this? It's like he woke up one day and decided, you know what? I'm gonna be evil today. Where's the motivation? Where's the tragic backstory that makes us kinda understand where he's coming from even if we don't agree? Nah, Sukuna's just there being bad because the plot says so. Compare him to someone like Aizen from Bleach or Madara from Naruto. Those guys had plans, they had reasons. Sukuna, he's just vibing and causing chaos. It's like having a final exam, but not knowing what you're supposed to study. Sukuna's badass, sure, but he's about as deep as a Twitter bio. Now let's chat about the supporting cast. JJK's got a whole crew of characters, right? But it's like they're all competing in a game of who can be the most forgettable. Seriously, it's like Gege created all these characters and then just forgot about them. Remember the Kyoto exchange students? Yeah, me neither. It's like they vanished into thin air after their arc. And don't even get me started on Nobara. Girl had so much potential and then, poof. It's like watching a juggler start with 10 balls and end up dropping 9 of them. Other manga like One Piece or My Hero Academia, they juggle huge casts like pros, JJK. It's struggling to keep track of who's who. It's like they're playing hot potato with character development. And most characters end up getting burned. Okay, let's talk about one of JJK's signature moves. Binding vows. Sounds cool, right? Like make a promise, get some power. But here's the thing. It's become JJK's get-out-of-jail-free card. Whenever the plot's backed into a corner, boom, binding vow to the rescue. It's like watching a magician pull rabbits out of a hat, except the rabbit's always the same, and the hat's getting pretty worn out. Don't get me wrong, it's a neat concept, but when you use it for everything, it starts to feel cheap. It's like that friend who always has an excuse for everything. At first you buy it, but after a while you're like, come on dude, really? That's binding vows in JJK. It's gone from being a cool magic system to being the duct tape holding the plot together. Alright, let's talk about JJK's crazy popularity boost. 1 minute it's just another manga, the next it's blowing up faster than a TikTok dance challenge. And a lot of that is thanks to social media. JJK memes were everywhere, people couldn't stop talking about it. But here's the thing. Sometimes, too much hype can backfire. It's like when your friends hype up a movie so much that when you finally watch it, you're like, that's it? JJK got so big, so fast, that people started expecting it to be the best thing since sliced bread. And let's be real, no manga can live up to that kind of hype. It's like trying to run before you can walk. JJK's popularity exploded, but with great power comes great expectations. And sometimes, those expectations can be a real buzzkill. Now let's address the elephant in the room. The crazy comparisons. People out here comparing JJK to the likes of One Piece and Naruto. I mean, come on, that's like comparing a rookie to Michael Jordan in his prime. Sure, JJK's good, but it's been around for what, a few years? One Piece has been going strong for over 2 decades. Naruto shaped an entire generation of anime fans. It's not fair to put that kind of pressure on JJK. It's like expecting a high school band to sell out stadiums. These comparisons are setting JJK up for failure before it even has a chance to grow. It's cool to be hyped about a series, but let's keep it real. JJK needs time to find its own path, not try to fill shoes that are way too big for it right now. So JJK blows up and suddenly, everyone and their grandma wants a piece of that exorcist pie. It's like when one person wears a cool shirt, and the next day the whole school's wearing it. We've got new manga popping up left and right all about exorcists and curses. And sure, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, but come on, it's getting to be a bit much. It's like the manga industry saw JJK and went copy-paste. And here's the kicker, this flood of similar manga, it's actually hurting JJK. When everything's trying to be JJK, JJK itself starts to feel less special. It's like being the cool kid at school and then everyone starts copying your style. Suddenly you're not so unique anymore. JJK's success might have shot itself in the foot by inspiring a whole genre that's slowly drowning it out. Alright, let's talk about the elephant in the room. The anime production drama. MAPPA, the studio behind JJK's anime, has been catching some serious heat lately. We're talking delayed payments, overworked animators, the whole 9 yards. It's like they're trying to speedrun how to burn out your staff 101. And sure, the anime looks sick, but at what cost? It's like when you pull an all-nighter to finish a project. Sure, it gets done, but you're a zombie the next day. These issues aren't just behind-the-scenes drama, they affect the whole industry. If animators are overworked and underpaid, how long before the quality starts to slip? It's like trying to drive a car without changing the oil. Eventually, something's gonna give. This isn't just a MAPPA problem or a JJK problem, it's an anime industry problem, and it's casting a pretty big shadow over JJK's success. Now let's chat about JJK's pacing and story structure. At first it was like a roller coaster, fast, exciting, keeping you on the edge of your seat. But lately it's more like a car stuck in traffic. The story's dragging in places, rushing in others. It's like trying to watch a YouTube video with bad Wi-Fi. Bits of awesome action, then long stretches of buffering. And don't even get me started on some of the later arcs. It's like Gega's throwing plot twists at us faster than we can catch them. One minute we're following Yuji, the next we're deep into some side character's backstory. It's giving me whiplash. This inconsistent pacing is messing with the flow of the story. It's hard to stay invested when you feel like you need a roadmap just to follow what's going on. JJK started strong, but it's stumbling a bit in the storytelling department. Let's talk pressure, people. JJK blew up like a supernova, and now Gega's got the weight of the whole manga world on his shoulders. It's like acing your first test and then everyone expecting you to be valedictorian. The pressure to keep JJK at the top of its game must be insane. And we've seen this story before, right? Manga that starts strong but can't keep up the momentum. It's like sprinting at the start of a marathon. You might lead for a bit, but can you keep it up? Gega's got to balance fan expectations, plot development, character growth, and probably a million other things. It's like juggling chainsaws while riding a unicycle. One slip and it's game over. And let's be real, the longer JJK goes on, the harder it gets to keep things fresh and exciting. It's a tightrope walk, and Gega's doing it without a safety net. Alright, let's wrap this up. We've been through a roller coaster of JJK drama, from its rocky start to its meteoric rise, from character issues to industry impacts. But here's the thing, calling JJK a complete failure? That's a bit much, don't you think? Sure, it's got its problems. The pacing's wonky sometimes, some characters are flatter than day-old soda, and the whole binding vow thing is getting old. But let's keep it real, JJK's also done a lot of things right. It's got awesome fights, some killer characters when they're done right, and it's shaken up the whole manga scene. Maybe instead of failure, we should be talking about challenges. JJK's facing some real hurdles, no doubt, but it's also changing the game in a lot of ways. It's like watching a rookie athlete. There's a lot of potential there, even if there are some fumbles along the way. So what do you think? Is JJK a failure, or is it just facing some growing pains? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's keep this conversation going.